What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Lunch money time, Tuesday. Everyone get your asses back to work. Memorial Day weekend is over. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. I'm here with the beautiful, intelligent Polina Marinova in her Midtown uniform. She's got the vest on, looking like a sheep.
It's very cozy.
Is it
might
wool?
I say.
Is it real wool? Did you kill the animals or did you not?
No.
It's fake wool?
You know where I got this? I got this in Vegas.
In Vegas?
I think I did.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, that's cool.
It was really cold.
Okay. Don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi. Get money, get paid. They've got 3 products. You can go and put in crypto. They'll give you a US dollar loan. You can buy and sell crypto. Or my favorite product, I'm an investor and a user, is that they will pay you up to 8.6% APY, interest in an interest-bearing account. That is way more money than you will earn on your savings or checking account. There's risk. Go do your research, blockfi.com in the description.
Will they pay me to get you a vest?
Nope, no vest coming from me.
Okay.
I got the uniform on. I wear it every day. No problem. German bailouts. What's going on?
So Germany is now the German government is now the single largest shareholder in Europe's second largest airline, Lufthansa.
Nationalize them all, baby. The governments around the world only got one strategy: print money and bail them out.
France did it. Italy did it. And then I love the CEO of Wizz Airlines or Wizz Air. He said all these airlines have been poorly managed and poorly run, and now they can turn to their governments to get bailed out, and it is certainly distorting the market.
Well, first of all, it's hysterical that the German government got better deals from their airlines when they bailed them out than the U.S. government got from the U.S.-based airlines. The U.S. government got fleeced by American Airlines, United, Delta, all of them, right?
Was that a joke?
That wasn't a joke, but that was a good pun, is what they're called in the American language. And so for the German government, at least they got equity. So like, okay, if you're going to bail them out, at least take equity, right? You're giving them something, get something in return.
Yeah, but now it's a nationalized airline.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, countries around the world, they love this, right? The whole idea of like, you're just becoming more dependent on the government. Here's the best part, is that you have the government, which is a notorious, horrible capital allocator. These governments suck at investing capital and getting returns across sectors. They're going to say that the airline executives ran it so poorly that the government's taking over.
Yeah, but I feel like, the German government actually got a great deal. So they took a 20% stake in Lufthansa and the option to boost that by an additional 5%.
How much money did they have to pay?
$9 billion.
$9 billion. So here's the deal. This is further proof that the U.S. government is not only a bad capital allocator, but it got fleeced in the bailouts, and the airlines made off like bandits. Because if you remember, the U.S. airlines got tens of billions of dollars. I think it was like $50 billion, if I remember correctly. 2/3 of the money that was given to the airlines was a grant. They don't have to pay it back. They didn't give up equity for it. It literally was just a grant.
Okay. But that's on purpose because we don't want our airlines to be nationalized, right?
Exactly. So tell the government, stay out of it. Wipe the equity shareholders out. Make them lose money, because that's what happened. They took risk. They bought equity in a business. The business is poorly run. Wipe them out. Punish them. It's like having a kid and you tell them, here's the rules. You can't eat the candy. You only get candy 1 day a week. You can't eat candy on the other days or it's going to be unhealthy. The kid then eats candy every day, but you never punish them. Instead, you just say, oh, you know what? It's fine. Here's more candy. You're incentivizing them to keep doing the bad behavior because you're taking away the risk. Instead, you should spank your kid, put them in timeout and say, don't eat candy. And guess what? They'll stop eating candy. It's not that hard.
He is not endorsing spanking on this show. Okay.
Don't even get me started. The fact that people think you shouldn't spank your kids is ridiculous. I grew up in a family of 5 boys. If they didn't spank us as kids, my parents would have lost control. The inmates already ran the asylum. It would have been even worse. All right, what's going on with the New York Stock Exchange? Don't bail out companies. That's the message. Stop bailing out these companies.
The New York Stock Exchange, unless you get equity.
No, even if you get equity, it's still stupid because now the government's left holding the bag. Literally, what is the government going to do? What is the German government going to do as the 20% shareholder of this airline? They're going to screw it up even more.
Money get paid.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Go ahead.
The New York Stock Exchange is reopening as lockdowns loosen further, but the traders will be wearing face masks. There will be plexiglass between each trading station. They came back to work today. And here's what I don't understand. Why is the stock market up on this news? Baffles the mind.
Well, first of all, the reason the stock market's going up is because businesses are reopening, all these different phases in the US, and they're seeing economic activity. It's kind of a bounce off the bottom. And so there's hope. The sentiment is positive, and therefore investors are speculating that stocks will rise. So they start buying. When they start buying, stock prices go up.
You know what's funny?
What?
You know how they always tell you to be a good investor, you have to keep your emotions out of it?
Yes.
Why is the stock market so freaking emotional?
Because they're not good at it. It's not that hard. Like, most people probably lose money if they trade a lot, right? But going back to the New York Stock Exchange. So just so everyone's clear, this is just a play. It's all a facade. The people who are on the floor don't do anything. It is literally just a play. It's like the WWE or WWF, right? It's like going to see Hamlet or Hamilton. Isn't that a play? Hamilton. That's fine. Hamilton. What's the difference between watching Hamilton and watching these people? No difference, really.
So they proved that they can do their work remotely during this period. Why do we even need a floor?
I'm actually a fan of the New York Stock Exchange, right? Huge fan. I believe that what they're doing is it's an institution. We've got to instill the confidence. We have to come back. But the fact that they're bringing people back on the floor with face masks and all this plexiglass, and all this nonsense.
They're also not allowed to use public transit to get there.
Okay. You're telling me that there's not a single person that's going to work on the New York Stock Exchange floor that's not using public transportation?
I bet they went and then they saw the news that they weren't supposed to. They're like, oh.
How are they going to stop them?
I don't know.
Are they going to get fired if I take the subway and I go work there? Do I get fired?
I do not know.
The whole thing is like, look, great. I'm glad they're reopening. The facade was revealed, right? There is no need for the stock exchange floor today. Everything happens in servers in New Jersey, which again is fine, but it's just a little ridiculous that like this was this big moment to kind of instill confidence back in the market to open up the stock exchange floor. If you remember, they actually were very slow to close the stock exchange floor as well when there was the health crisis. Whatever. At the end of the day, this doesn't really matter. I just think it's ridiculous that, we got to get the live shots on television and stuff of all the people walking back in.
I know. I wish people like applauded me when I came back to work. Like, woohoo. And
You've been working from the couch. You're fine. What's going on with Amazon podcast? Is Amazon getting into podcasts?
Amazon, through its Alexa fund, that's its venture arm, is looking to make investments in podcast companies. Isn't that funny? The news comes after Joe Rogan just got a $100 million deal with Spotify.
Were they already making the investments? And do they say what type of investments? It's looking to invest in localized podcast content like news and sports. AKA they just want to bring radio to Alexa.
I think they're going to use Alexa. I think there's some kind of play with Alexa here.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you think about, so two ways that this could go just off the top of my head. One is if you could basically just wake up and say, Alexa, tell me what's going on with the New York Yankees.
But doesn't she already do that?
Well, what she'll do is she'll tell you facts, but my guess is that they don't actually do that much in terms of localized content, all the talk radio, like all that kind of content.
Yeah.
And then two is some guy, this is really weird, but some guy who, thank you for doing this. This was cool. He built an Alexa app where you could basically tell Alexa to play my podcast and then it would play the podcast, but he had to like build something to connect it. So what it sounds like is Amazon is basically saying, hey, we can build the infrastructure, right, to connect that stuff, but we need the content. And my guess is that they still can't, they can't just take the radio because there's all these licensing deals, monetization, exclusivity, whatever. So they need new types of content. So it's kind of like The Athletic, but for audio.
That's cool. According to...
Do we want to get an Alexa?
No.
We don't have one. Ask her why.
Because he's rude to her, and I will not have that in my house.
No, tell him really why.
Wait, why?
She says no because they're always listening.
Oh, yeah. I don't like the listening.
She doesn't like that they're always listening.
I guess my phone's probably always listening, but like at least...
You know what they would hear if you listen to our conversations? You would literally hear me like walking to the bathroom being like, remember when I smoked you in chess last night?
And him applauding me when I go to work every morning. Okay. But Axios is reporting that there's been a debate internally over whether the podcast content would live within Amazon's audiobook company, Audible, Amazon Music, Amazon Alexa, or all three. This is what happens when you have multiple properties that could kind of fight for this.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, again, Amazon having, so take Apple. Apple has Apple Music, Apple Podcast, right? And then it has iTunes, which technically they're all related, yet they're separate in some form or fashion. Same thing here. So like Apple figured it out. I'm sure Amazon will figure it out. The key is just there's two core components to audio right now. One is the audio surfaces, right? Or the platforms. Yeah. So if you think about this across podcasts, we're seeing tons of activity, something like a Clubhouse, which is a social consumer application of audio, or all sorts of passive things like audiobooks and that type of stuff. Right. But then there's the content production. And what actually occurred is there was tons of content produced, then the platforms caught up. Now we're seeing a reinvestment in content, and it'll kind of be this like going back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
Because they just need more content, right? There's just actually not that much content.
So, you know, what's interesting to me is that podcasts have gone through so many waves of popularity. I remember listening to podcasts when I was in high school, but I would listen to them on iTunes on my computer.
Podcasts?
Yeah.
When were you in high school?
2007, 2008. Yeah.
I have a child on the show. I have a child with me. Oh my God.
Well, you're not even that much. Okay. So I would listen to them on iTunes on my computer, but like random like news shows.
Are you sure it wasn't just radio?
No. They were podcasts. Like they were episodes. But what's interesting is then that there was that wave of Serial, and people were like, oh my God, look how cool storytelling in the form of like audio episodes. And now, I mean, it's just so popular. And just as everybody thought the bubble had burst, but we've talked about this, and you think it's partly because the AirPods, right?
So AirPods is definitely a huge piece of it. This is not an original idea to me. I've got people who are way smarter who tell me all the secrets to the life. But AirPods basically made it super easy to do passive listening. So you can listen while you're at work. You can listen while you're commuting. You can do all these different things.
But couldn't you do the same with headphones before?
You could, but just the fact that like, there's no cord. If you use AirPods, like I challenge you, go actually plug in your cord headphones now. I did it the other day because I had to do a call outside. I was scared that the AirPods would die. And you're like, man, I'm like tethered to my phone. This is weird. You feel like shackled to the phone. And so now all of a sudden that you have the AirPods, you can like leave your phone on the other side of the room. You can do all this stuff. So that's first. The second piece of it that I think is really interesting is once you go audio, you don't go back. Like I don't read books anymore. I just listen to audiobooks. I tried to sit down the other day and read a book. I felt like I was in prehistoric dinosaur times.
But okay, also right now, where are you finding time to just sit and listen to an audiobook? You have to kind of be walking or multitasking or running.
You made me go on a 5-mile walk yesterday. I was walking all over New York City. You would have thought I was Christopher Columbus looking for new land. Unbelievable. What's going on with surveillance?
Did you or did you not find new land?
I actually did find new land. I had to pee the whole time too, which was super weird. So I walked for 5 miles and didn't pee. As many of you will know, that's super uncomfortable. That's fine. Tell me your war stories in the comments.
Okay.
What's going on with surveillance?
So, to nobody's surprise, a Chinese city is proposing permanent health tracking with a score-based drinking and exercise. With a score based on drinking and exercise habits, and also sleeping. So basically this app would track how much you're sleeping, how much you're drinking, how much you're exercising, but it would tell the government.
Nah, I'm out. I'm not playing this game. The tracking system would work via digital barcode on a person's phone. The so-called QR codes become popular during the height of China's coronavirus outbreak. They're still being used to a lesser extent than before, but it's used to determine whether a person can enter a building or take public transport. Just think about that for a second. This Chinese city, I don't even know how you pronounce this city, in the CNBC article is going to say, nah, you can't ride the subway. You're fat.
Well, so it says...
No, that's what I was going to say. You're fat. You can't ride the subway.
Well, listen to this. Some of the barcode apps work on a traffic light system where red would mean a person was a health risk and green would meant they were able to enter a building. So
what it originally started off was, does Polina have a temperature, like her risk level? And then what they could do is they could track a population and say, okay, Polina's a red. She likely has coronavirus or has tested positive. She went into contact with a bunch of people who are green. Therefore, we should send push notifications to the people who are green, telling them you've been in contact with somebody who's positive for coronavirus.
So futuristic.
You should go and get tested, quarantine, whatever. Again, I disagree with that. That was the original purpose. Now they're talking about, again, don't let a crisis go to waste. Oh, we actually should just track how much you drink and eat and exercise and do all this other stuff. Hey, how about we tell the CCP to kick rocks, right? Why would we ever allow them to do stuff like this? I have no clue, but I'm just not here for this game. Are you into it?
No. So you wouldn't want a health score?
No.
You'd be red like 99% of the time.
I don't care. I'm going to die one day. If I die a couple years earlier, leave me alone. I want to ride the subway. I don't care if I'm fat or not. Let me just live my life. I mean, look, but we use Apple Health, right?
Do.
And we look at the data, we compare it, right? Do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so all that stuff. But that's my information. It's for my usage.
How do you know the government's not actually using it to track you?
Well, I'm trusting, right? And again, I'm trusting the fact that Apple has really good cryptography and is not sharing the data. It all lives on the phone. Like there's a bunch of things they do around data privacy. Now, could it be hacked? Sure. But there's a difference between I have data and it gets hacked and, hey, government, here, let me know if you think that I'm skinny enough to ride the subway. Like, come on.
What kind of health data do you most track and keep?
I wish that I had a timer on my phone for how many hours a day Polina annoys me. It would be very low. She's absolutely perfect.
I think my eye just twitched by itself.
No, I personally like the sleep metrics. That stuff's cool. And then also I like when it tells you if you worked out each day. It keeps track and tells you like, hey, you worked out for 7 days or the whole month.
We do the little circles on the Apple Watch.
All right, what's going on with SpaceX?
The SpaceX launch is tomorrow. The first time since people have been launched into space since 2011, I believe.
2 guys.
Yeah. Wait.
We're going to the ISS. SpaceX is launching people.
Well, the first launch of NASA astronauts from the U.S. since 2011 is
accurate? NASA shut down the space travel program basically, and they said we're not sending people to space anymore.
But I thought,
and then Elon Musk, the guy everyone loves to hate, everyone's fucking always complaining about all this nonsense. Elon Musk said, as a private citizen, 20 years ago, the company started. I think SpaceX started in like 2001 or something. Almost 20 years ago, he said, I'm going to get to Mars. And he has single-handedly, he and his team have brought back the space race. It's awesome.
So if you guys read the profile, last week there was a profile on Elon Musk and also on Gwynne Shotwell. She is SpaceX's secret weapon. She's the president.
Savage.
And
what's her deal?
There's a video of them both celebrating when the rocket launched and came back. What's her deal?
Yeah, she basically runs the company.
She started as the 7th employee as an engineer at SpaceX and worked her way up to president. And she is basically, I think she's, if not one of the most important people at SpaceX.
Well, she's definitely the second most important person behind Elon. Elon's focused on engineering from what we understand. And Gwen is very focused on basically all the operations, the supply chain, all that kind of stuff, which makes sense. But it's going to be super cool. Highly suggest you guys watch tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow, the launch is supposed to be at 4:33.
Maybe we'll live stream it on YouTube.
Us?
Yeah.
Can I launch you into space?
Hey, I'd go. Do I got to come back? It's just going to be cool. We're going to send 2 people to space. They're going up. And let's see what happens. And look, by the way, this is super dangerous. Like, I don't want to kind of discount.
I said, don't count your chickens before they hatch or eggs before they hatch. What is it?
Chickens or eggs? Let's stick with just normal language without all the sayings. Because, you get kind of twisted around in a circle like a tornado.
It's very cool. It's dangerous. But they did the final ready check today. And it looks like they're ready to go. But there's also a 40% chance it won't launch because of bad weather.
You know the best part? The U.S. has been paying Russia $80 million a seat for almost a decade to send our astronauts up.
Oh, that's how they go there. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We just pay Russia. No problem. All that stuff you read in the mainstream media about us not liking Russia, we just hand them $80 million every time we send an astronaut up to space. About time that we start giving that to some American companies. Just saying. All right. What's going on with the Elon Musk kid's name? I don't even know how you pronounce it.
Was I ready with this?
Yeah, what is this kid's name?
Okay. This is
A-Xii.
It's like Ash something.
Okay. I don't think that's what it is.
So there's speculation that they had to change the name because in California, names can only use the 26 alphabetical characters of the English language, according to the Constitution of the state. So then on Sunday, Grimes posted a new photo and people were asking if they changed the name because of California laws. And she said, Roman numerals looks better, TBH, to be honest. So instead of 12, they just did X and 2.
Well, I mean, yeah, we can't start naming our kids R2D2. Like, come on, you got to have at least letters.
I'm confused. Okay, so number, but like that symbol isn't part of the.
Yeah, it is. It's an A and an E.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, it's fine. It's close enough. I mean, look, it is what it is. Like, I actually thought the funniest thing I saw on Twitter was somebody said, "Oh, look, Elon Musk's son got his first software update." I thought that was pretty good, right? But like, I mean, look, it is what it is. If they're happy,
only Elon
knock
Musk
yourselves out.
Can name his child that. If I name my child that, people be like, "Say what?" But Musk is like, "Oh yeah, makes sense."
Yeah, it's fine. Like, again, if they're happy, who cares? Everyone leave them alone. If they want to name their kid this, whatever. Oh. The real question, though, is somebody one day going to name their kid a meme or an emoji? Like, could you just do an emoji?
See, why would you do that to them?
What emoji would you name your kid if you could?
The one with the chicken hatching.
Oh, I would name him definitely the laughing cry face. just every time someone's like, "What's your name?" You just send them that. They're like, "What the hell? Like, you're just laughing at me?"
Yeah.
Or the flame, and they'd be like, "What's your name?" Like, fire.
Oh God. Wait, I thought we talked about something.
I was mad at my parents when I was a little kid because they didn't name me Sir. I literally was like, "Why didn't you just name me Sir Pompliano?" Then everyone had to say Sir all the time. And my dad was like, "Shut up, you're an idiot." And then when my first brother was born, the one right underneath me, they asked me what his name should be. And I was 2. And I put on a very, very hard-fought campaign to name him Shoe. SHOE. I literally, I was adamant about it for months that his name should be Shoe. And my parents still tell the story today. They're like, "That's when we knew that we were going to have to pay special attention to you because you wanted to name your brother Shoe."
I mean, it's not a bad name.
Yeah, it's fine. I thought it was a good name at 2 years old.
Wait, guys. Also, we had a riddle last night before we went to sleep. So if you know this, I try to research it. Leave it in the comments. But so last night, I kept asking questions and he was like, "Curiosity killed the cat." And I was like, "But why did curiosity kill the cat?" And so I Googled it. And apparently there was an article from like 1916 about this woman's cat who would always lay in the fireplace. But like one day I got super curious and went up to the chimney and then I got stuck there and it died. But it was really tragic. This newspaper article really lays it out. What are you
Do you see how lame this looks? I put in some earphones and all of a sudden I look lame. That's why you got to have AirPods. See, look, I just found these in my pocket, by the way. That was unplanned. But like,
wait, let me finish my cat story.
Go ahead.
So if you guys know, but it did not originate in 1916. It originated way before then. So if anybody can find out why the curious cat got killed and where that thing comes from, let me know.
Why do you have to know all the answers to everything? Just say, "Look, curiosity killed the cat." Who cares?
I need to know.
But look, futuristic, loser. Futuristic, loser.
No, you're pointing. Oh, wait, yeah.
Loser, futuristic. Just want you guys to know. All right, that's it for Lunch Money today. We appreciate you watching while she's trying to get rich. The rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. We will see you tomorrow. SpaceX live stream day. It's going to be awesome.
Tell the people I'm futuristic.
You look like a sheep. See ya.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.